Chiefs -3.5 backers look away immediately, but keep the television on because we are in the ratings business. Final seconds of the fourth quarter, Jags out of timeouts down 4. Trevor Lawrence falls, gets up, and dives in for the game-winning touchdown. Hey, Trevor Lawrence anytime TD paid out around 6-1. Jacksonville wins a thriller, moves to 4-1 on the season. Chiefs fall to 2-3 in the standings and 0-3 in one-score games this year. Wild AFC race through 5 weeks. Take a look at the standings, and to the right of those, the odds to win the conference. Colts are the 1 seed, yet 9-1. Steelers are the 3 seed, yet 20-1. Bengals are the 8 seed. What a world. But 150-1 to win the AFC. Even crazier. The Chiefs are the 10 seed, yet still have the second shortest odds at 4-1. And the preseason favorite, Baltimore, is 1-4 and sitting in the 12th spot. But despite all that, they have the third shortest odds to win the conference at 8-1. Needless to say, everything a bit upside down. Say hello to Ben Solak, where we find him right side up. When you compare the AFC standings to the AFC odds we just showed, what jumps out at you?
I agree with you 100%, Joe. I think that we are giving too much credence to the successful teams of years past and not enough for the new kids on the block. Jags at 10-1. And the 4-1 record stands out to me because the defense is winning them games right now, but the offense might catch up when we get further down the year, right? They have 14 takeaways on defense. Smells like regression, but that's exactly what the Packers defense did last year. And Anthony Campanile, their new DC, is from Green Bay. This is the model to be a high takeaway team, force you to execute perfectly. On offense, we see the stumbles, man. We see those mistakes. But it's a first-time head coach, Liam Cohen. They have a ton of procedural issues, right? Illegal man downfield, illegal formation, false start penalties. You expect those to clean up over the course of the year. Travis Hunter is increasing his participation on offense. Brian Thomas Jr. had the bad game against the Bengals. This is a young and inexperienced offense. So if the defense stays taking the ball away and the offense steadily improves week over week, we could be talking about a 2-seed Jaguars team that gets 2 home playoff games and is playing in that AFC Championship game. I like him at 10-1.
I mean, 5 weeks into the season, the Jaguars are 4-1, and they're looking up in the division at Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts. Who would have thought this would be the division that has the most intrigue? Now, if we go further down the board, is there an even longer shot that you might consider in the AFC?
I don't love taking the Steelers at 20-1, but if you're giving me a 3-1 team that's got a home game against the Dylan Gabriel Browns upcoming, yeah, I'm going to take that at 20-1. FPI projects the Steelers have a 7.8% chance right now to make the Super Bowl. The implied odds of that are about 4.6%. It just feels like good math. It's also worth noting the Steelers have been banged up. Derek Harmon has missed time, Alec Highsmith, Joey Porter Jr. on defense, Jalen Warren on offense. And so we could see them improve because right now they're about an average team by advanced metrics. I don't love betting on the Steelers long-term this season because they're such an old team, which to me means they're such a frail team, right? You kind of worry about Aaron Rodgers taking the hits and Jalen Ramsey holding up for 17 games, TJ Watt, Cam Hayward. But I do think that this projects as a team that'll play well in the postseason because of all that experience. So if they get there healthy, again, we're talking about a team we expect to have at least 1 home playoff game, if not 2. And we know Aaron Rodgers has been there before. It's his last dance, Joe. You got to buy on him.
Yeah. I've heard that one before. Quickly, I want to get your thoughts on the Chargers at plus 850. They've dropped 2 in a row. The shine is worn off. I think it's a decent buy low with Joe Alt soon to come back and Miami on the schedule coming up next. Your thoughts on LA?
I am so worried about the health of Justin Herbert. I am so worried about this offensive line. Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt, now Marion Hampton is missing time. I am stay away on the Chargers. I know you've liked them for a while. I cannot deal with these offensive injuries. I cannot deal with the cursed team. I'm not touching them.
Appreciate it, Ben. Thank you. Makes me feel so much better. Sit tight. We'll come back to you in a little bit. Despite both losing this week, the Chiefs at 4-1 and the Bills at plus 225 are the most bet teams to bet on to win the conference since trading opened up on Sunday night. Let's jump back in with Anita Marks. Anita, where do you see opportunity in the AFC after 5 weeks?
Thank you, Pedro. I appreciate it. How can you not love the Colts right now, right? 4-1 with a very impressive win against Denver. Also coming off a blowout against the Raiders where they put up 34 points. And I got to talk about my guy, and that is Daniel Jones. I've been screaming from the mountaintops for a long time now. 5 games, only 7 times that offense has had to punt, 3 turnovers, 17 touchdowns. Dare I say, comeback player of the year, Pedro? Also, their offense, first in in EPA, success rate, TV drive rate. Steve Steichen, the head coach, very well could win Coach of the Year. This is a very good Colts team. Jonathan Taylor possibly going for the rushing title, and a very solid defense. Their offense, their schedule is not a juggernaut. Watch out. I think they get a really good seed, and they very well could represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, Joe. I'm not playing around.
Yeah, no, I know. This Colts team's been kicking me in the teeth every week. Thank you very much, Anita. Welcome back to ESPN Bet Live, where it's time for Fishy Lines. Every now and again, there's a point spread that looks and feels just a little too easy. So I've asked my friends Ben Solak and Anita Marks to put on their fishing gear so we can figure out which lines in the NFL this week smell fishy. Emmy Awards, here we come. Ben, why don't you cast the first line? Go ahead.
Broncos minus 7.5 in London against the Jets. The winless Jets seems real fishy to me. We're talking about a defense that's top 5 in every metric, EPA per drive, EPA per play, against a Jets defense that's bottom 5 in every single metric. A Jets team that has been down at least 14 points in every single fourth quarter since week 1, only 7.5. But it is a London game, and these winless teams can get some inspired efforts when they're looking for that first win. So I feel like I might just be on the Jets just because at some point they have to get this thing over the line.
Yeah, I tried scuba diving with the Jets last week and nearly drowned. I can see why you'd be going there, but good Lord, New York, step up and clean it up in the process. I'll go ahead and cast one into the water as well. Jacksonville, Seattle. Take me through this one. Jacksonville laying only 1.5 points. They're 4-1. We just watched them on Monday Night Football take out Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. They're the toast of the town today, and they're only 1.5 point favorites over the Seattle Seahawks, who just lost at home to Tampa Bay. Something smells a little bit fishy with that one. I like Seattle. The defense looked really bad in that matchup, but they lost a bunch of guys due to injury. Should get a little healthier for this one. Sam Darnold's playing lights out, but bottom line, Seattle 3-2 with a plus 41 point differential. That is 4th best in the NFL. This team is better than a lot of people realize. Anita Marks, your chance to jump into the Gulf or ocean, depending on what part of South Florida you like to reside in the most. Where do you want to go?
Well, we like to squish the fish, hence the hat. Nothing smells more fishy to me than this Dallas Cowboy line. How are they only favored by 3.5? Right off a good win against the Jets. Also, they tied against a very good Packers team where Micah Parsons was coming after Dak, right? And this is a really high-scoring offense. They're hoping they get CeeDee Lamb back. On top of the fact they're going up against Carolina. Bryce Young, 8-27 in his career. Are you kidding me? Wouldn't be surprised if everybody and my grandmother take the Dallas Cowboys on their survivor pick. But boy, this is fishy. So I'm going to go with Carolina here. Give me Carolina plus 3.5. You got Rico Dowd, who's going up against, let's not forget, his former team, who said, don't let the door hit you on the butt on your way out, baby. And also, this is a Carolina Panthers team, 4th best in the NFL in opponent success rate. So my fishy, smelly pick of the week, Carolina, I'll take the points.
Outstanding. It's Tuesday, and we've got action on the Jets and the Panthers. Ben, your thoughts on the Panthers?
I'm with Anita on this one 100%. I wanted to do this Cowboys line, and they told me Anita already had it. You got to pick a different one. This is as stinky as it gets because the Panthers have these spike weeks, right? We saw that 30-0 Atlanta game where they just come out of nowhere with an inspired defensive performance and Bryce Young hits his downfield passes. So I'm always looking for chances to bet the Panthers. I was on them last week against the Dolphins. Cowboys do score a lot of points, though.
If you didn't get seasick on the boat during this little journey, you're going to get sick backing the Jets and the Panthers and possibly even the Seahawks this weekend. Excellent job, everybody. Excellent job. Check out the spread report. If you've been backing the Colts, Jags, and Lions this year, doing pretty well. They're the only 3 teams in the league that are currently 4-1 against the spread. There's a flip side to that. If you've been backing the Ravens, Raiders, and Bengals so far, you've been lighting your money on fire. One good thing the Ravens have going for them, overs. Cashing in all 5 of their games this year, mainly due to that horrible defense that we were told was going to be outstanding this season. Back with Ben Solak. Ben, what game, if you could choose from any of them, would you want to bet right now before the line moves?
Colts minus 6.5. I think the vibes in Arizona are absolutely atrocious. We just got the news. head coach John Gannon being fined $100,000 by the team for the physical altercation with running back Amari DiMercado, the guy who dropped the ball at the inch line there, led to the storming back of the Titans and that terrible loss. It reminds me of the Tyreek Stevenson play from last year for the Bears. Very visible, very embarrassing. Would not be surprised to see these foibles continue into a fall-apart game, a fall-apart season, where we've got the Colts team now again sitting at home, potentially getting healthier at cornerback, and as Anita reminds us, Joe, every single week, fielding one of the most successful offenses in football right now. I think the Cardinals are going to be a fade for the next month, honestly. I think they're falling apart.
Yeah, essentially the question comes down to, do you believe the Cardinals are a resilient team? And everything they've shown us for years has been no. So what would make you think they would bounce back from this? I like your angle there. Big news out of the NFL today. Joe Flacco traded from the Cleveland Browns in division to the Cincinnati Bengals. As you know, how do we want to approach something like this with a monster showdown between Cincinnati and Green Bay coming up this weekend? Packers laying 2 touchdowns here.
The market told us that this is an over move from Jake Browning to Joe Flacco. This total moved from 43.5 to 44.5, and I agree. I think it should continue to go up, and I like the over in this game. Critically, Joe Flacco has seen this Packers defense already this year. I think that's a big factor for that week 1 turnaround of being comfortable in the offense. I also think he's an improvement on Jake Browning throwing the football down the field. That's not really a stiff ask. Jake Browning had a 21.6 interception rate, throwing 10-plus yards down the field this year. Joe, I think you and I could maybe do better than that. So it means we're either going to score fast with big plays to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, or we're going to punt fast, right? Because we're taking sacks, Flacco can't scramble, and that puts that excellent Packers offense back on the field. Bengals defense has given up at least 28 points in each of the last 4 weeks. We know they'll do their part getting us to this over.
Thank you, Ben. That color looks great on you. We appreciate the time. We'll catch up with you again next week.